and I think probably say goodbye to you at this stage. Climbing up. The aircraft has a 9-hour fuel endurance on board, so it can loiter for an extremely long time in the ocean area. This can be very useful both militarily when we're cooperating with the naval service or the army, and also for built in Seville in Spain by CASA, Spanish company, part of the Airbus group, Airbus military group. We operate 2 of them, and the second one is involved in maintenance at the moment. The Air Corps squeezes up to 1,000 hours per year per airframe in maritime patrol and the other roles I mentioned to you.
As well as experienced volunteer pilots who all hold CAA Air Show display authorization.
Which we use for covert insertion into difficult areas. These can be dropped by parachute from altitudes up to 15,000 feet. Also, the aircraft has a military casualty evacuation role. This backs up our troops who are currently serving in the Lebanon and Syria. And should any of them become injured through any types of the dangers out there, the aircraft can recover them on fixed stretchers back into the Irish Republic for hospital care. The casualty evacuation mission is also used in support of the civil community, and this afternoon, after this aircraft returns to Casement Aerodrome in Dublin, a second crew will deploy with a seriously ill young lady who has to go to Luton for a heart and lung transplant. She's a cystic fibrosis.
Lights on in the nose of the aircraft. Another iconic aircraft, those of you who might remember seeing them somewhere else before in a different guise. One will be painted the same colour scheme as their previous existence, so I'm sure when you see it, it'll bring back memories to you. Okay, boys and girls, we're now talking to the team leader. He's on the display frequency, and they're just talking us through where they are. I'm looking for them up here, and once I get wind of them, and I can see them, I'll let you know. They're almost here, so have your cameras ready. Now folks, have a look out to your left-hand side. Smoke is on, winding onto the display axis. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Newcastle for the first time, the Red Gnat display team. Well, for those of you who may remember, I'm sure there's lots of you in the audience today, the shape and colours will probably remind you that originally the red arrows, when they were formed using this aircraft, the fallen Gnat. Previous to that, the first team to display the Gnat were the Yellow Jacks, and then when they decided to make it formal, they painted the aircraft red, and they became known as the Red Arrows, and this aircraft flew as the Red Arrows display team for many, many years before being replaced by the Hawk. Now, the fallen Gnat aircraft has a unique space in British aviation history. Most famously used by the Royal Air Force Red Arrows aerobatic team, it was also used to train more than 1,400 fast jet pilots for the Royal Air Force. Later on during the day, folks, we're going to see two trainers that were used by the Royal Air Force way back when in the 50s, 60s, 70s, up into the 90s. Today, this is the basic trainer that is now used by the Royal Air Force, and this is the Shorts Tucano. Now finally, Tucano today, we have Flight Lieutenant Dave Kirby, and he was born in 1971, and when he finished school, he joined the Royal Air Force as a direct entrant in 1990 as a navigator. After completing his initial officer training at the RAF College in Cranwell, he then went on to navigator training at RAF Fittingly in South Yorkshire. He graduated as a navigator then in June of 1992, and he was posted initially to the Tornado GR1. He then completed a tour of duty at RAF Vulcan in Germany, during which he flew operational sorties over Iraq on Operation Southern Watch. And during the tour, Kerbs was also selected to attend the Tactical Leadership program at Florence in Belgium, and he flew missions lead on exercises Red Flag, as well as participating in numerous overseas exercises. In 1997, he was then posted to 15 Reserve Squadron at Lazimuth as an instructor navigator, and he completed the Qualified Weapons Instructors course, winning the trophy for the best crew. He then continued to instruct on 15 Squadron until August of 1999. Now, although Dave started off his career in the Royal Air Force as a navigator, he started his second career in the Royal Air Force in September of 1999, when he was posted to 1 Squadron at RAF Linton-on-Ouse to undertake pilot training. He completed the basic phase of flying, during which he won the navigation and leadership trophies, and he was then posted to Royal Air Force Valley. He then withdrew from training at Valley in 2001 and was posted then to 3 Flight Training School at Cranwell to undergo multi-engine conversion. After that then he was posted on to the Hercules, the J version of the C-130, and was one of the first pilots to fly that aircraft for the Royal Air Force with no... please welcome the Provost Mark III with Neil McCarthy. So, fantastic aeroplanes. In Red Gnat 1, we have Chris Heames. Now, Chris joined the Royal Air Force from school in 1970, and after officer training, he was posted to RAF Wattisham. He then went on to Akrotiri and then on to Brodie, initially as an air traffic controller. He began his pilot training, his second career in the Royal Air Force, if you will, in 1979 at Linton-on-Ouse, flying the Jet Provost. Again, another aircraft we're going to see shortly. Having completed his training on this, on the Jet Provost, he then went to Valley and Chivener on the Hawk, and from the 1960s and 70s, it was the UK's key fast jet trainer, and was used extensively by number 4 Flight Training School at RAF Valley. When the final full NAT course was completed on the 24th of November 1970, F-86 Sabre aircraft, and as a result of that conflict, this little aircraft, the NAT, was gained its well-deserved nickname as the Sabre Slayer. So we had the Sabre here last year, and this aircraft here was well able to match it in dogfighting. And as you can see, the aircraft representing what they were years ago as the Red Arrows, you can see similarities now in some of the manoeuvres that the lads are flying here today. In the late 1970s, the NAT was superseded in the UK training world by the British Aerospace Hawk T-Mark I, an aircraft that is
the lightning couldn't keep up with this aircraft. This aircraft could outmaneuver a lightning at the higher levels. So it is some aircraft. And the original test pilot on it was Vulcan. This is a first for you guys and Midair Squadron as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's big partners to see most iconic aircraft.
Belfast. He got himself a peak down in 1974 and he joined the Royal Air Force in 1970. Leading the team is Midair Squadron and Jim Turner. It's his third and final year as the team's leader. He's a former Jaguar pilot. He's very experienced in the display world, having displayed the Jaguar. Spent 3 years previously with the Red, including leading the Seafire band. And he's also been the official advisor to the Royal Saudi Air Force's display team. Here pilots 2 and 3 acknowledge the move to Eagle. They do so with very metronomic cadence in their voices. The idea is that the count of 4 in their heads, the pilots extend their air brakes. And counting 6, they retract their air brakes, and that enables all 3 aircraft on each wing to drop back in unison to form Eagle. Now into the right-hand side, they'll fly the Eagle roll. I'll give them a big wave as they go upside down, those guys. They used was the Falcons Gnat, and that was the advanced jet trainer in the Royal Air Force in that era. But in 1976, the Hawker Siddeley Hawk entered service with the Royal Air Force, and in 1980, the Red Arrows started to use the Hawk as their aerobatic aircraft, and it's still that aircraft that we use today. The Hawk is a very successful aviation export that's been sold to over 19 countries around the world, and it still continues to impress in its guise as an advanced jet trainer. The smokestack off out to the left-hand side, and Reds 4 and 5 have moved forward to show us the shape of the Russian fighter jet, the Su-27. The NATO code word for the Su-27 is flanker. They're about to form a very wide shape now. You'll see Reds 8 and 9 move to the outside of the formation. And from Red 9's left wingtip through to Red 8's right wingtip, the formation will now measure 100 metres or 300 feet. So to enable the formation to stay as one as they manoeuvre around the sky, the outside pilots really have to anticipate their control inputs. They do so by using the very set cadence in Red 1's voice commands. But now in from the left-hand side, celebrating 50 display seasons, this is Phoenix. Right wing is the first of our new pilots for this year. He's Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Stu Campbell. Stu is a former Tucano instructor, having taught basic fighter jet training. He also displayed the Tucano, and operationally he flew the Tornado GL4. Out to the right, the team has brought down Troy Bartrey, and now we're going to come in and fly the Diamond. Protect him so he can do anything he wants, and the aircraft won't depart. 400 miles an hour. The G's building up. It's feathered arrow. That is the end of the first half of the Red Arrow display, ladies and gentlemen. So far you've seen all 9 aircraft together performing close formation aerobatics. We're now going to split down into sections of 2, 3, 4, 5 or 7 aircraft, and we're going to show you some more dynamic manoeuvring. At the front of the formation are Reds 1 to 5, we call them Enid, after Enid Blyton's famous 5, and at the back Reds 6 to 9, who we call Jippo. Jippo was the nickname of the gentleman who first led the Black Claw when the Red Arrow started flying on sleighs in 1968. Well, look out to the front, you'll see the team form that very wide Phoenix shape again, and it's now definitely time to get your cameras ready. They'll roll up directly towards you to start the second half of the display. Keep your eyes on the synchro pair with their loose underneath. This is the palm split.
Start recording.